Hello, welcome to CB1, General 2, Unit 46, Politics. Unit Objectives and Functions. In this unit, we will talk about politics and how to express opinions. The communicative objectives in this unit are to talk about politics, to express opinions, to say how long ago you have done something, to say the duration of an action you have done. To talk about politics using simple present, simple past, and present perfect. Okay, now let's go to our vocabulary bank. Let's listen and repeat. Election, government, ministers, party, policy, prime minister, queen, king, state, vote, candidate, monarch, motion, occasions, resolutions. It doesn't matter. Peer, public servant, civil servant, successful, title, century, president, approve, inherit, assembly, consideration, elect, be involved in, issue. Now let's see some vocabulary expressions. When we talk about politics, we can use the following expressions. As I see it, in my opinion, from my point of view, do you approve of the new road? Don't you agree? I'm against it. I don't agree with the idea. I'm for it. I agree with the idea. It doesn't matter. I'm not prepared to answer that. I'd rather not to answer that question. I probably shouldn't say that. Examples. As I see, many politicians are dishonest. In my opinion, young people should vote. I'm against politicians raising taxes. I'm for the Liberal Party. Grammar structure, present perfect. The present perfect tense is used to, first of all, express an action that began in the past and probably continues in the present. It is something so interesting that we have to stress. Whenever it began in the past and probably continues in the present. So we are talking about an action that maybe left a consequence. It is also to talk about lived experiences, the things that we have done, what places we have visited, what food we have tasted, who we have met. As we said before, it expresses an action that started in the past and left a consequence. That's important. For example, into Spanish we say, I lost my keys. But the correct one is, I have lost my keys, because with that fact, we have a consequence. The consequence is that I can't come into my house. The affirmative structure is, first of all, we have the subject. Later on, we have the auxiliary. The auxiliary must be have or has in the case of third persons. Later on, we used the main verb in past participle plus a complement. An example, I, subject, have, auxiliary, always, it's a frequency adverb, vote, voted, it's the main verb in past participle, and my complement, in every election. Yo siempre he votado en todas las elecciones. Okay, let's go now with the negative structure. First of all, we have the subject. Later on, the auxiliary have or has, in the case of third persons, plus the particle not for the negative. Later on, the main verb in past participle, plus a complement. Example, in my opinion, the queen, subject, hasn't, auxiliary, had, main verb in past participle, any public event lately, complement. All right, thank you. Now let's go to the interrogative structure. First of all, we have the auxiliary, have or has, plus the subject. We are going to start now with the auxiliary and later on the subject. We switch the order. Later on, the main verb in past participle, plus the complement, and very important, the question mark. Okay, example. Have you voted lately? Have is my auxiliary. You, the person. Voted, my verb. And lately, my complement. Okay. Now let's erase this. And let's go to the next. Practice. Observe the function and decide what is the correct tense for each sentence. Number 1, she still works in local government. She do the same job for many years. All right, in this case, what's your opinion? Okay, so here I would say she still works because it is something that is happening right now in local government. She has done the same job for many years because it is something that began in the past and continues in the present. Next, number 2. In 1974, there were 2 general elections in Britain. The Conservative Party win the first one, but it lost the second one. All right, so what's your opinion? Okay, in this case, we are going to say the Conservative Party won the first one, but it has lost the second one. In this case, we say won because it is something that happened in the past. And the second one, it has lost. The second one left a consequence. That's why we are going to use it in the present perfect. Okay, number 3. This century, the Conservative Party win more elections than any other party. What's your opinion? What's the answer for this? All right, well, in this case, we will say this century, the Conservative Party has won more elections than any other party because it is something that happened, like an experience, a new experience. All right, number 4. In this century in the USA, the Republican Party be more successful than the Democratic Party. Okay, what's the answer? Okay, the answer is the Republican Party has been more successful than the Democratic Party. Let's analyze them into Spanish. Number one says, ella aún trabaja en el gobierno local. Es algo que está sucediendo en el presente. Ella ha hecho el mismo trabajo por muchos años. Es algo que inició en el pasado y continúa en el presente. En el número 2, en 1974 había 2 elecciones generales en la Gran Bretaña. El Partido Conservador ganó la primera, algo que ocurrió en el pasado, pero ha perdido la segunda. Es algo que inició en el pasado, pero continúa en el presente y además dejó una consecuencia. Número 3. Este siglo, el Partido Conservador ha ganado más elecciones que cualquier otro partido. En este caso estamos refiriendo a algo que inició en el pasado, continúa en el presente, pero dejó una consecuencia. Es como una experiencia vivida. Número 4. En este siglo, en Estados Unidos, el Partido Republicano ha sido más exitoso que el Partido Democrático. Es una experiencia, un evento que ha sucedido. Okay, now let's go to the next image. All right. Practice. Fill in the blanks with the correct tense. Okay. Let's check. Number 1, many mistakes. I don't think that there's a person alive of 50 years of age who mistakes. And any politician with a 22 or 23-year career in politics who says they mistakes. They're either too stupid to recognize them or too arrogant to accept them. So I've made mistakes. There are occasions on which too long. There are occasions on which I have associated myself with causes that proved to be wrong causes. And there are times when I would be liked to have acted much faster than I did, but the series of circumstances prevented that. And so in those 23 years, I don't think more errors than most other people, but I've certainly made them. Here we have some options for number 1. Letter A, I am making. Letter B, I've made. Letter C, I had made. What's your opinion? All right, pretty good. Yes, number 1 is letter B. I have made many mistakes. I don't think that there's a person alive of 50 years of age who, number 2, isn't making, has made, hasn't made. Yes, in this case, the answer is C, who hasn't made mistakes. Any politician with 22 or 23-year career in politics who says they, number 3, haven't made, have made. All right, the answer is B, have made mistakes. They're either too stupid to recognize them or too arrogant to accept them. So I've made mistakes. There are occasions on which, number 4, I'm speaking, I will speak, I have spoken. Yes, the answer is C, I have spoken too long. There are occasions on which I have associated myself with causes that proved to be wrong causes. And there are times when I would have liked to have reacted much faster than I did. But the series of circumstances prevented that. And so in those 23 years, I don't think, number 5, I've made, I make, I am making. All right, excellent. The answer is A. I've made more errors than most other people, but I've certainly made them. All right, pretty good. Okay, thank you for your participation. All right, I hope that this video has been clear for you. If you have some doubts, you can contact your monitor or your web teacher. And thank you very much for watching.